Morning class. Today I would like to start question 5, which is a question on spreadsheets. And it was a question that sadly was very poorly attempted. There were sections of this question that moved beyond basic level that you just couldn't even do. So we really have to focus on Excel and Access over the next few weeks to get up to speed with these programs. And I think a good way to start would be to just go over the exam paper question in Excel. And there was actually more than one Excel question. So the first spreadsheet is this one over here called 5 Gaming. The whole thing, as you know, followed a theme of esports. And the spreadsheet itself is about e-gaming and e-gaming competitions between various countries. So the instructions read as follows. The data of the players and organization, competitions and medals is saved in a spreadsheet named 5 Gaming. There were some instructions. Note that first of all, use formula and or functions for all calculations in the spreadsheet. If you do a calculation, I mean, we all know like 6 and 4 equals 10. If you just type in the 10 without showing the formula, you are not going to get marks, even if that answer is correct. The marks that you get are for the formulas. And then don't forget that you need to also use absolute references where they are necessary. Now, they're not going to tell you where to use absolute references. You should know where that needs to be done. And then all formula and functions, whatever you insert, should be inserted in such a way that if any data changes, automatically it will have a knock-on effect to the answer. So what does that mean? That means we don't put numbers into formulas. We actually put cell addresses, or we reference the cells. So let's just dive right in and start the first question. It says work on the player earnings worksheet. This spreadsheet actually had a lot of sheets in it, and so you actually needed to navigate left and right to see all the spreadsheets. So if you don't see it straight away, you needed to look for it. But there's player earnings, and the first thing we have to do is merge and center the heading. So I'm just going to select A1 to I1, and there's my merge and center button done. And then we have to change the font of this heading to Arial rounded empty bold. There it is. And it has to be a size 15. There isn't a 15. Do you see that? So then in that case, I type it. Then number 2, use a spreadsheet feature in cell A3 to the end. There are 100 of these that will automatically insert the numbers or the rank 1 to 100. So to do that, we're going to do autofill. So you've got to type the first 2 numbers, 1, 2. And then you select both of those numbers. Put your mouse on the little box. Do you see that little box in the corner? And you just double click and it does it for you. Okay. You have to type in the first 2 numbers. Select both the numbers. Put your mouse on the little box and double click, and it automatically numbers them in sequence up to 100. I was actually quite shocked to see how many of you didn't know how to do what is regarded as really a basic level in Excel question. One of the first things you learn in Excel. Then the next one was ensure that all the data fills the cells properly or fully. And you can see that there's some names here that don't fill the cells. This one over here doesn't fit properly. So we're going to do them all at once. And to do them all at once, you select your columns right up at the top, and you double click on the very last column line, and it automatically adjusts all the columns. You can do them one by one, but it's much quicker to select them all up here on the alphabet letters and double click. Add a function in cell I3. So let's go and find I3. There is I3. Add a function in cell I3 that will show the total number of medals for each player by adding gold, silver, bronze, and tier 1. So that's just a simple sum formula. I'm going to use my auto sum button, and I don't want the earnings included. So I'm just going to make sure that I do actually only select those 4 cells. And there's my answer. And we've got to be able to copy it down. Now, can I copy it down? Yes, because here I have only got cell references. I do not have any numbers typed in. So there we go. Okay, change the format of H3 to H102. H3 to H102, and it has to be in currency with no decimal places. So I'm going to select that. Okay. And now if I hit this button, just be careful. This button could be set on accounting. So I want currency. Okay. So if I hit that button, it doesn't give me currency. It gives me an accounting format. So I'm going to change it to currency here. But this has the decimal. So I've got to go one step further and go into the dialog box, more number formats. Find currency, there it is, decimal places 2, and put it onto 0 and click OK. Okay, you can't really just go and hit that button because that just throws the decimals away. You've actually got to change the format of it. Okay, then the next one, use a suitable spreadsheet feature to apply automatic formatting to the range D through 3 to D102 as follows. Oh, this is conditional formatting. If the number of gold medals is greater than or equal to 25, then a cell shading of green should be applied. And that's in column D. It's the gold column. So I'm going to select my column. Conditional for, oh, I missed one, sorry. I missed one. Conditional formatting. Highlight cell rules. Now, I don't see greater than and equal to anywhere here. So I'm just going to go to more rules. Cell value, greater than or equal to. I get more options here, you see. 25. And it must be shaded in green. So let me go and find a format for fill, which is shading. And I'm just going to choose that green and click OK and click OK. Now on the same column D, I need gold medals lower than 15 must be shaded in red. So conditional formatting again, highlight cell rules less than 15. And it must be shaded in just red. So red border. Now I actually need a red fill shaded in red. Okay. So there we go. So there I have that conditional formatting there. The way that I mark this is I just select some of it. I don't even have to select all of it. And I go to conditional formatting and I look at manage rules. And there I can see that you've done the correct thing. That cell value greater equal to 25 is green and cell value less than 15 is red or pink. Okay, so that's how I actually mark that. And it counted 4 marks. So either you know how to do it or you don't. Okay, then use a function in cell J3. So we're going to go to cell J3 there to display the word above average. Above average, if this total here is greater than the average of all the numbers. And if it's not, it must say average. So this one over here should say above average. And this one should say average. That one should say, well, I don't know, maybe average. But I've got to work out the average of all of these. Okay. So here comes the formula. Let me make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it. So equals, okay. Now this is an if. If this, okay, is it greater than? Just let me check it. Yes. If this is greater